but the cooperation and help from the commissioners and Deputy Shoemaker is really the only reason this came to fruition. And we really wanted to capitalize on UNESCO World Heritage and making sure that this community was ready for the influx of tourism that's going to be coming. And so we submitted a plan and a proposal. We got an award, and that award, I'm just going to run through really quickly some of the things in that award. I think most of you are familiar with them, but that's what you're going to see behind me. So the amphitheater, which was originally proposed in that park plan, renovation of the facility that we're in, creating a visitor center for World Heritage and the National Park Service, improvements to fields, improvements to facilities, pickleball courts. We're going to end up with a splash pad, and then road construction in order to make the roads around the park. You can picture Mulberry, for example, how bad that road is, the bricks, the undulations, and make the roads around the park something that makes traffic flow more easily and is more conducive to pedestrians than what we have today. And so what you're going to see today is where we are in the design process. This is the project. So things that we are awarded, there's no swapping out at this point. This is the project, but we do want to have you ask questions and get feedback because we can do tweaks, right? Something like the roads, City Council has to pass road changes. So if a traffic light goes away, if we add traffic lights, that's a legislative action. And so we want your feedback today. We want you to ask questions. The professionals who are here tonight are from American Structure Point. They were with us every step of the way for the application. We couldn't put out a request for proposals and qualifications. They were the architecture and engineering firm that we hired to help guide us through and design this process. And so they were on board with us from step one. We can't thank them enough. They developed a team, built it up, and they're here today. So everybody at the boards that will be answering your questions are all part of that team. Did I miss anything? So, landscaping, Mark over there. Behind me is architecture, lots of architecture, and then roads over there. This is it for the formal part of the presentation. There's a raffle over there to take home poinsettias. There's goodies over there, and then as you exit, there's some engagement with the city on future planning. That was supposed to happen. And some QR code and surveys you fill out. But thank you for being here tonight. And Mark? So Andrew on that end is our civil engineer. I'm the director of landscape.
We're here inside Memorial Armory, the old armory. Can you introduce yourself?
I'm Bill McEwen. I'm the senior architect for American Structure Point.
And you guys are designing this major change to Yoctangee Park. Can you give an overview of what you're showing here tonight?
To my right, we have a series of boards from our landscape architects who've shown how we might develop and regenerate and redevelop the park in general. And that's after months and months of public input about what they like and what they would prefer. So then that sets up, right behind me here, a major renovation of the building we're standing in, of turning what we're in into an event center and some offices, an opportunity for cafe, an opportunity for business innovation center in the existing armory. And then annexed the Armory. We're looking at doing both the Visitor Center, which will incorporate the National Park Service as well as the Convention Visitors Bureau, and doing a long attenuated building that would be a new farmers market that we would expect to be usable at least 3 seasons of the year. So that's why it's enclosed, but the major walls of it roll up, and so it's open air in the summer, be closed in winter.
Garage doors.
So it can be an event center, but also the farmers market. So, and then to our left, we have a team from our looking at urban design, street improvements, that sort of thing, about trying to get all the roads around the park and within the park upgraded so that the traffic flows better.
And you have some design influences here, the group of photos?
Yes, we were looking at, instead of trying to replicate the Armory, we felt it was important to let the Armory really stand out as a distinctive thing. So we purposely designed a much simpler building to be a backdrop to the Armory. And the thinking was, outside of the city, there's so many fabulous, simple agricultural buildings, and Amish buildings, longhouses, that sort of thing. And we wanted to pick up on that, and it needs more work. We wanted to pick up on that and let it be a backdrop and let the Armory really stand out as a sort of arched brick building. It's initial thinking. The second thing that we're throwing from these photos here is to look at doing a structural system that's made out of what's called mass timber and a skin on the building for part of the building, technology called thermally modified timber, which goes for decades without needing to be refinished. It won't rot, and the inside will be made in a way that have a very, very low carbon imprint and be warm and beautiful for decades. So that's the thing.
So what is the timeline? How much more conversation will you have before you have a hard, solid plan?
It's hard to say. I'm not the person to answer that one. I will say this: we will have more interaction for a few more weeks, and then we've got to be in high gear designing because the construction needs to start in a few months in order to meet the deadlines. So I'm sorry I fumbled that one.
Yeah, this is a very fast-paced project.
Very fast-paced.
Surprising.
And that's one reason it was kind of nice to have a shotgun blast of people talking to us tonight, just to sort of listen. So that's a very important meeting tonight.
How can people see these renderings and the panels here?
We will find a time, probably just after the first of the year, to issue these or any revisions we've made from the comments tonight, and find a way to get them either out physically here in town or electronically out. We'll let us coordinate with all the interested parties before we say. But they will be available for people to see, no question.
And how can people give their input?
The next phase, I would say, I'm not the best person to answer that one either, because I need to go through the process with this. We'll either do it's far better, as an opinion, to do it live, face-to-face. Emails back and forth, we don't want to do that. We want people to come in. I would propose that we would have a presentation of the thinking behind all of the architecture, then reveal what we think is the right solution based on that thinking, and live and have feedback. And so that's my vote for the first of the year, early first of the year.
So if people do have thoughts, maybe they could share it with the mayor or the city?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.